What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about habits, and we are also going to be talking about motivation. So if you struggle with setting habits and sticking to them long term, and or you struggle with motivation, getting motivated, staying motivated, watch this whole video. I'm going to help you with that. All right, now I got jiu-jitsu, going to get some chokes. Let's get into it.
How you feeling?
Good. Getting my fucking ass beat by Alex, but feel very good. All right, done with training. Got to get back, have a mentorship Q&A, basically where I help coaches with their business and help them become better coaches. So got to open Q&A with that. Let's go.
Go ahead and talk a little bit.
Yeah, Mitch, I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, all right.
Okay, you look good and you sound good. Now you just gotta sound smart.
All right, I'm going to do my best. Do I need to clap?
You do not need to clap. Everything's good.
And we're rolling?
We're already rolling, so I would say just take a moment when you're ready.
I think we should just, like, the last 20 seconds should be the intro to this video. And we're just going to, like, start with everything that's just happened. All right?
That sounds great.
All right, that's how we're going to start.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
A-cam here.
All right, this is the camera I'm looking at. This is the camera I'm not supposed to be looking at. All this is in the video. All right.
Thumbs up.
We're talking about motivation. All right, we're talking about motivation. And by the way, this is obviously a very shitty putter that I have for like mini putt course that I have here in the office. I've realized that I was diagnosed with ADD growing up. I just think it helps to have just like something in my hands. That's what she said. So I'm just gonna hold on to this during the thing, maybe use it as a pointer throughout, but whatever. Let's get into, I hit the ring on this one. Anyway, we're gonna get into the discussion. We're gonna talk a lot about motivation. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in regard to motivation is a lot of coaches, it's become very cool for coaches now to talk about how it's discipline over motivation and say motivation is worthless. That's fucking stupid. That's incorrect. Motivation is not worthless. You just have to understand how to use it and what it's good for and how to access it when you need it, all right? Saying motivation is stupid is sort of like saying happiness is stupid. Motivation is just an emotion, right? It's a feeling. It's thinking that motivation will last forever. That is stupid, but motivation in and of itself is not stupid. In fact, I would say learning how to utilize it and how to figure out how to get it, how to reach out and grab motivation is a far more useful mindset and attitude towards it rather than just saying it's stupid altogether. Discipline is very important, and motivation is also very important. Happiness is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion, right? You can't expect to stay happy all the time, just like you can't expect to stay motivated all the time. But if you can figure out what things make you happy and you chase those things, probably gonna have a better life. If you can figure out what things will cause you to get motivated, well, you're probably gonna have a better life and also then create better habits and have more discipline down the road. So with that out of the way, we have, the traditional red versus the green, red generally being the incorrect version, the green being the correct version. We're gonna go over the incorrect way that people often think about motivation, all right? So this red one, which, this putter is just turning out to be a great pointer, but most people expect to just start with motivation, right? And I get this question every day, multiple times a day. How do I get motivated? How do I get motivated? And it's ironic because I'm getting these messages on Instagram in which I guarantee the person on the other side of the screen is sitting down on their couch or lying in bed or whatever. They're just sitting there and they're being like, how do I get motivated? And it's ironic because they're just thinking that like out of nowhere they're just going to be struck with lightning with motivation. And I'm not going to say that never happens, because sometimes like just out of nowhere you'll get motivated, but it's very rare. It's like lightning rarely strikes. You know, like it'd be like trying to just wait for lightning to strike you, which would obviously be a bad idea. But to think that you're just going to get motivated out of nowhere and to rely on that is a very poor strategy for success in literally any realm of life, okay? So what people think is going to happen is at first they get motivated out of fucking nowhere. Then with that motivation, they take action. From that action, they will get results, and from those results, they'll get more motivated. This is wrong. This is not how it works. It's close, but it's just wrong enough to make it dangerous in that it won't actually work if that's what you expect. It's a slightly different order, okay? So what happens is the first thing, and we're gonna go over this, the first thing, the way that you get motivated is not just to wait for motivation, you have to take action. I'm gonna talk about this in a second, okay? First, you have to take action. From that action, you will get results. Again, I'll talk about that in a second as well. From those results, then you get more motivated to take more action. And what's really cool about this, before I dive into each one of these individually, is once you make this a habit, it becomes so much more easier to become disciplined, right? Once you understand how to motivate yourself, well, now it becomes a habit to stay more disciplined because you can just cycle through this over and over and over and over again. And I think that what happens is, I'm sort of just like ad-libbing this out of nowhere, I'm like realizing this as I'm talking about it. I think a lot of the coaches who say motivation is worthless, discipline over motivation, I think what they don't even realize is that they've subconsciously figured this loop out and they can actually motivate themselves, and they almost think in their mind, oh, it's just because I'm disciplined. Yes, you are disciplined, but you've also sort of hacked the system and figured this out without realizing it to figure out you're motivating yourself to take more action. And so what I want to talk about here is number one is the action bit. You're at home, you're sitting on your couch, you're lying in bed, wherever the fuck you are right now. You're watching Netflix, you're exhausted, like you don't want to work out. The idea of going to work out can be draining. It can be maybe scary. Maybe it could be scary from the perspective of maybe like you've never been to the gym before and you don't want people to judge you and you're worried about it. Like that can be really scary. So fear could be keeping you from taking action. Just like exhaustion, who knows? Maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you're not a single parent, but like you have a ton of work on your plate. Who knows what's going on? But the idea of taking action might be exhausting. I just want to rest. Fear, exhaustion, maybe a lack of knowledge. You don't know what to do. I don't know. Like I want to go to the gym, but I have no idea what to do there. So for all of these different reasons, all of these different possibilities could be leading you to a lack of action. But there's always an answer for every single reason. So first and foremost, I want to talk about number one, the action doesn't have to be big. And I think this is the most important thing to understand. It doesn't have to be go from doing nothing, taking 500 steps a day, being 350 pounds, going to like, all right, I'm gonna work out 7 days a week and I'm gonna like never have a bad food ever again in my life. That's a bad way to set yourself up for success long term. My favorite action, and this is for me, right? Like I'm a fitness professional. I think I'm pretty damn healthy overall, pretty strong, pretty athletic. My action to get myself motivated is to get up and walk for 5 minutes. That's my action that will lead to results. And people will be like, well, what results are you getting from 5 minutes of walking? Well, I think everybody knows, we hear this all the time. Walking, just getting up and moving increases your endorphins. You feel better immediately. Like this isn't fake. This isn't fake news. This is real science. From a little bit of movement, you will literally feel better. Not to mention, oftentimes, once I just get up and walk for 5 minutes, like now, cool, I'm already up. Like, let's keep going. Now you have that momentum rolling. It's like, why stop? So for me, my action is 5 minutes of walking, which usually leads to 30 minutes of walking or more. It doesn't always, but that's the action. And the result, I feel better. I did it. I got up. I guarantee you, if you're sitting down right now, lying on the couch, watching Netflix, whatever it is, you're like, ugh, I know I should get up. I know I should move, but you're not. I guarantee if you just stand up and do one lap around your apartment, around your living room, around your block, whatever it is, you immediately feel better. There are short-term results and there are long-term results. A long-term result might be, I don't know, losing 20 pounds, which would be great if that's what you want to do. But a short-term result might just be feeling better in the moment. And when you feel better in the moment, what's going to happen? You're going to get more motivated. And with that more motivation, you take more action. So maybe the first action was, I'm up for 5 minutes, just going to walk around for 5 minutes. Boom. The result, you feel better almost immediately. With that extra feeling better, you get more motivated to take more action, so you walk for another 25 fucking minutes. This is the short-term version of this cycle. Longer-term version would be realizing, oh, if I take a small action every day, walking for 5 minutes, that leads to more walking, that leads to me feeling better. So cool, you feel better, you walk for 30 minutes, whoa, the result, you feel so glad. Like, you didn't think you were gonna walk for 30 minutes. In those 30 minutes, you take 2,500 steps. You're like, this is the most active I've been in years. Well, then what happens? Then you get more motivated, not just on that day, but subsequent days. But actually, let's go back to just on that day. Well, what happens on that day? Maybe because you walked 2,500 steps for the first time in years, you're gonna make better food choices. You know what? I'm gonna have some fruit. I'm gonna drink water before I get that regular soda. I'm gonna have some fruit. I'm gonna make a big ass salad. You know what? Now you feel better because you've moved. You've made better food choices. You know what? Instead of staying up until 2 in the morning and eating a whole bunch of shit, I'm gonna go to bed at 10 p.m. I'm gonna put my phone down. Now you've just turned this cycle. You've went through this cycle multiple times in a single day. You've proven to yourself that you can do it, and then you continue to do this day after day after day. And I'm not saying like it's happily ever after and it's easy. It's not. It's a fucking battle, but you can make this a habit. And that, I think, is the most important thing for you to understand. You can make this a habit. And going back to what I was talking about earlier, a lot of the coaches who are in this, but they don't even realize it, the people who say discipline over motivation, don't rely on motivation. I agree, you can't rely on motivation, but if you do this, you will inherently get more motivated with every action you take. Think about this, we always hear like people say you never regret you never regret doing a workout, right? Well, if you are not feeling motivated to go to the workout, but you take the action, you go to the gym, maybe the small action is, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm just gonna go through the warm-up. If after the warm-up I wanna stop, cool, you can leave. No one goes through the warm-up and then leaves. Once you're there, you go through the warm-up, cool, like I'm here, I did it, I got the result, I feel a bit better, cool, I'm gonna go into the workout, you get more motivated. So this is how you can see motivation and discipline, they play into each other. It's not either or, you can use both, and you can use this loop to get more motivated, to take more action, and stay more disciplined. Now, I wanna talk about something called self-efficacy. This is unbelievably important. It is a huge predictor of long-term success, not just with health and fitness, but basically with literally everything in life. Now, if you're a science nerd like me and you want to learn more about self-efficacy, you can Google search self-efficacy Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura is like the leading researcher behind self-efficacy and has done some really remarkable work behind it if you want to look more into it. But basically, self-efficacy is a fancy way of saying your belief in your ability to succeed, right? It's like, how much do you believe in your ability to succeed? And there are like deeper definitions we could get into, but I don't want to get into the weeds. It's how much do you believe in yourself, which is very similar to self-confidence. It's not the same thing, but it's very similar. And there's without a doubt, like very clear, direct research showing that the more you believe in yourself, the more you believe in your ability to succeed in a given task, whether it's losing weight, whether it's building muscle, whether it's going to the gym on a consistent basis, whether it's getting your steps in, the more you believe in your ability to do it, the more likely you are to do it, which sounds pretty fucking obvious, but I wanna give you a sort of an analogy that I use on a regular basis so you can understand how important this actually is, how important it is for you to believe in yourself. If I told you right now, let's say, and I hope this isn't the case, but let's just say you've got $0 in your bank account, zero, you've got nothing. And I told you, if you could raise $10,000 in the next 24 hours, then you would have a 99% chance of winning the Mega Millions lottery. Like you would win millions and millions of dollars, 99% chance. I guarantee you, in the next 24 hours, you would find a way to get $10,000. No, you would, because there's a 99% chance of you winning millions and millions of dollars. You could pay people off with interest. No, you would raise that $10,000. You'd do whatever it take. You'd take the day off work, you'd fucking grind, you'd make phone calls, you'd do whatever you had to do to get those $10,000. On the other hand, let's say you have $500,000 in your bank account, which would be pretty damn nice. You got $500,000 in your account, and I told you there was a 5% chance of winning $5 million if you bought lottery tickets today, if you spent, $10,000 on lottery tickets. 5% chance. Some people, I'm sure, would be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But I think anyone who's smart with their money, like a 5% chance, nah, probably not worth it. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Even though it's not nowhere near as much money as you have in your account, you probably wouldn't do it just because I don't have a great chance of getting that money, and I'm just gonna lose that $10,000. It's not worth it. The reason I tell you this, and the reason I use this analogy, is because this is exactly what happens in real life, and we'll use fitness as the example here, because it's a fitness channel. Why would someone who doesn't believe that they're actually going to succeed, why would they count calories? Why would they go to the grocery store and learn all about which foods are more nutrient dense? Why would they spend the time reading articles and books, spend money on hiring a coach, go out of their way to make sure that they're getting the best food for them? Why would they go to a gym, pay for a gym membership, hire a coach, go through the grueling process of working out? Why would they suffer through all of this if they don't think that they're actually going to succeed? If they think that maybe it'll work for a week or 2 weeks or a month, but eventually it'll just fall off again, why would you ever bother to do all of that if you don't actually believe it's gonna work? The answer is you wouldn't. And this is one of the major reasons why so many people never achieve their goals, because they don't actually put in the effort required because they don't think it's gonna work anyway. Whereas on the other hand, you take someone who's like, oh no, I know if I go to the gym and I get my nutrition in check and I get my sleep, I know for a fact if I do that, it's gonna work. Well, of course, it's way more likely to work because they're gonna put in the effort, they're gonna put in the time, they're gonna put in the hours, they're gonna spend the money, they're gonna do everything they need to do in order to make it work. And this is why it's so important for you to get to a point in which you actually believe in yourself, because if you continue not to, then you will continue to find reasons to not take the actions that you need to take in order to succeed. Now, the next logical question is, well, how do I believe in myself? And this is where understanding self-efficacy and researching Albert Bandura and all of that can be very, very helpful. But there are a number of ways to increase your self-efficacy that I want to talk about. And the very first one is starting. This is the first one. The most important way to get yourself to believe in yourself is to do the shit you don't think you can do. Because as soon as you prove to yourself that you can do it, now your next result is what? Believing a little bit more in yourself. And when you believe a little bit more in yourself, what happens next? You get more motivated. And what happens when you get more motivated? You take more action. What happens when you take more action? You believe in yourself even more. And when you take more action, you believe in yourself more, what happens? You get more results. And then you get more motivation. And this is how that loop can spiral and spiral and spiral into a huge fucking unbelievable snowball that no one can stop. Because just with a small action, you can build up and build up and build up. This is why the question of how do I get motivated pisses me and so many coaches off, is because we know that the only way you're gonna go get more motivated is through taking action, and that's also the only way you're really ever going to believe in yourself more. You can follow all the best coaches in the world, whether it's me or other amazing coaches out there. There's tons of other amazing coaches on social media. You can have all of the information, you can have all of the knowledge, but if you don't believe that you can actually do it, none of it matters. And for you to understand that the most effective way to actually believe in yourself is to take action, no matter how small, it's the most important thing in the world. I don't care if it's a 5-minute walk. I don't care if it's drinking another glass of water. I don't care if it's having a big ass salad. I don't care if it's having a couple pieces of fruit. If you've followed my content for a while, you've seen me talk about the importance of having a salad every day. You've seen me talk about the importance of having fruit every day, drinking water. I talk about this stuff all the time. It's the most basic, simple, non-sexy stuff in the world. Why do I talk about it so much, especially on such a large scale? Why do I talk about it so much? It's not because you don't know this. Everybody knows, yeah, I should move more, I should drink more water, I should eat fruits and vegetables. Yeah, some idiots are out there, you shouldn't eat fruits and vegetables, fuck those people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But the vast majority of logical people know these are things that you should be doing on a daily basis. Why do I talk about it so much? I talk about it so much because I want at least one person, just one person watching to realize that's the action I need to take today. That's it. And when they can take that action day after day after day after day, they're gonna start getting results. And with those results, they get more motivated to keep taking that action. I know this is redundant, but I mean, it's a fucking 3-point circle, so it has to be redundant, just inherently. It's not gonna be like that crazy, but you don't need crazy complicated in order to succeed. I actually just wrote about this on my Instagram the other day. I think one of the most important factors of success long-term is consistency, but not like consistency in the way we hear about it. I mean, someone asked me to the effect of, it looks like you eat the same things on a very regular basis. Do you think that helps you stay consistent? It's like, yes, 100%. I eat very similar foods over and over and over again. I do very similar workouts over and over and over again. My daily schedule looks almost the same over and over and over again. I think a lot of people might look at me on social media and they think like, oh man, like his life must be just so cool. It's like, my life is boring. If it's funny, I've had people want to be like intern for me and like, hey, I'd love to see what you do every day. And I'm like, honestly, if you watched me like every day nonstop, you'd be like, this is a pretty fucking boring like routine schedule. But you're only getting me when I'm on camera like this and super hyped up and you're like, oh, you just must be like that all the time. No, I'm not like this all the time. I get like this when I talk about shit I'm passionate about. And in this moment, I am passionate about letting you know that doing the boring shit over and over and over and over again, taking consistent action with the boring shit that you know you should do, that's what's gonna lead to results, which will lead to more motivation. So please, for the love of God, stop just sitting down, waiting to get motivated, waiting for motivation to strike. It's not going to happen. The only way you'll get motivated is to first take action. From that action, you'll get results. From those results, you'll get more motivated. And I was talking to Mitch, and he brought up a good point, and he said, I've heard you talk before about, well, what happens if you promise your friend you're gonna do something for your friend? If you promise your friend you're gonna be there for them in some capacity, you're gonna do it. Like barring crazy circumstances, you're gonna be there for your friend. But so many people will make a promise to be there for themselves. They'll make a promise to show up for themselves, whether it's, going on a walk every day or drinking water or having salad or going to the gym or getting a sleeper. They promise to be there for themselves and then they don't show up consistently. And they break that promise to themselves over and over and over again. And breaking that promise becomes a habit. It becomes a habit that you follow because the action, unfortunately, in this, it works in the other way, is your action is you're breaking the promise. And the result is you feel bad about it. And as a result, the motivation is it's like anti-motivation, but now you feel shame and guilt, and when you feel shame and guilt and like you're a bad person, the action is you do it over and over and over again. People are not motivated positively from shame and guilt. Very few people, 3% of people have a positive reaction to shame and guilt. 97% of people respond infinitely better to positive reinforcement. This isn't just how you treat other people, it's how you talk to yourself. You need to speak to yourself in a positive way, and you need to follow the promises and live up to the promises that you make to yourself. And I know this is easier said than done, but fucking everything is easier said than done. And if you're not sure how to start talking to yourself more positively, you can seek out therapy, seek out someone who can actually have that conversation with you, and also be aware of the conversation that you're having in your head. Be aware of how you're talking to yourself. If you're being rude and mean and just fucking awful to yourself, ask, when you have that thought, would you speak to a friend that way? And if the answer is no, don't speak to yourself that way. Show up for yourself. Take small actions that will lead to small results, that will lead to small motivation, that leads to a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, over and over and over again, until this becomes a daily habit that you do nonstop without even thinking about it. And with that, you can use discipline and motivation hand in hand to get the best results. Whew! All right, now we're gonna go in the other room, into my home gym, and we are going to announce the Inner Circle winners, which I'll give the details on that, and then we'll go into the Instagram Q&A, which we do every video. Let's get into it. All right, announcing the Inner Circle winners, which if you are new here, and actually, by the way, if you are new here and you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Every single week when we do a new video, I pick 3 people to win a free month in the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle is basically where I give workouts every month, new nutrition guidelines. We have an executive chef make recipes every month. We have an unbelievable app. It's like the best fitness thing ever. And that's coming from a very unbiased perspective. Obviously, it's biased. Anyway, 3 winners to get a free month in the Inner Circle. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. And I go through the comments and I pick 3 people to win every single video. So if you want to be entered for the next video, like the video, subscribe if you don't already, and leave a comment, and I will pick 3 people in the next video. But from the last video, we've got 3 people. We've got Charles Dale, we've got Monica, and I apologize if I mispronounced her name, Monica Gagulich, and we've also got Bracelets, etc. So those are the 3 people who won. I left a comment under your comment to let you know how you could claim your free month. So do that, let me know, and you'll get your free month in the Inner Circle. And if you want to be entered to win for next week's video to win a free month in the Inner Circle, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I will let you know next week if you won or not. And now, we're gonna go into the Instagram Q&A, which, by the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can do that here. And as you know, if you do follow me on Instagram, I do Q&As all the time, but every single YouTube video, I pick at least 2 questions from that Instagram Q&A to answer here. So we're gonna start off with the first question from the Q&A today, which is from Spidey Dave F. Spidey Dave F asked, what is causing your weight to drop? I know calorie deficit after the cut. Mine always goes up 2 to 3 pounds. Now, I sent Mitch a clip of a story I made yesterday, which we'll probably put up on the screen somewhere, of me weighing in now that the mini cut is over. It's been probably like 3 weeks or so since the mini cut's been over. We've already gone through Thanksgiving. It's mid-December as of shooting this. So it's about like 3 weeks after the mini cut ended. And I weighed in yesterday and I was down like another 1.5 pounds from when the mini cut technically ended. So for a total of about 14 plus pounds down. I started off at 162. Yesterday I weighed in, I think, around 147.5. And what Spidey Dave F is asking is like, why is my weight still going down if the cut is over? So there's a couple of things going on. And actually the other thing he said is mine usually goes up 2 to 3 pounds. So if I had transitioned directly into maintenance, then my weight would have gone up several pounds. This is an important thing to understand about transitioning into maintenance. When you go from a deficit directly into maintenance, your weight will go up. And it's not because you're adding fat, it's because when you're in a deficit, by definition, you are eating less, right? So you're not gonna have as much content in your stomach. Like there literally will not be as much food. So when you start eating more, not only do you store food in your stomach, but you store things in your muscles and your liver. You store more nutrients throughout your body, so you're actually going to weigh more. So oftentimes when you transition in maintenance, that will be one of the reasons why your weight will initially spike up. If I had weighed in the day after Thanksgiving, you would have seen my weight up significantly because I ate a fuck ton and I enjoyed every minute of it. But the reality is, even though like publicly the mini cut ended, on my own, I've still kept it going. I've still been doing it, but like very slow and very relaxed, mainly just because, as you saw throughout the mini cut, it was very easy. It was not difficult for me at all. And again, I've spoken about this and you can go back and watch the mini cut videos so you get a better understanding of how I did it and why I did it and how you can do it as well. But I was like, listen, I feel great. My energy is great. My mood is great. My strength is great. My conditioning is great. Like everything's fine. If I want to lose a few more pounds, I'll keep doing it, but at a very slow rate. So you can see now, because of Thanksgiving and because of things I've been going through, just like in general during the holiday season, the weight loss has slowed, but it's still happening just because I'm still in a calorie deficit overall. There have been days over the last few weeks where I haven't, Thanksgiving being one, actually yesterday being another. Yesterday I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat a lot because I wanted to, but net calorie deficit. But to answer the question, Spidey Dave F, I'm still in a net calorie deficit, which is why my weight keeps going down, because I have not yet transitioned into maintenance. And the simple answer is just because I feel really good and I haven't needed to increase my calories yet. But if and when, or not if, but when I get to a point in which I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done losing weight, then I will transition more towards maintenance and my weight will go up a few pounds from there, as it normally does and it always should once you transition to a maintenance phase. Next question. This is a very good one. This one is from CNewt1022. And CNewt asked, how will you help address weight and body with your daughter? And I did not think of how I was going to answer this one. I sort of wanted to just, read it and figure out what the fuck comes out of my mouth as I say it. I wanted to answer it because I think it's a very, very, very good question. And it's also something I've been thinking about. Like, how will I do this? And to be very blunt, I don't know. And I also, it's so funny that the way my brain is working right now is I'm also thinking one day my daughter is going to watch this. Right? Like one day, hopefully in many, many years, she will watch this, and that's factoring in to my response right now. But it's not changing that I'm going to tell you the 100% truth of what I'm thinking right now at 31 years old when I have a 3.5-month-old daughter. And I only have one child right now. God willing, I'll have more. But one of the things that I think about, people ask, well, what type of parent are you going to be? Are you going to be strict? Are you going to be this? Are you going to be that? And when I think about it, I think it's going to depend on the child, right? Like if I have 3 children, they're all going to have different strengths and weaknesses and different needs and preferences. And I would imagine that with each child, my parenting style will probably differ based on what that child needs. Not to mention, as the child grows, the parenting style will probably change based on not just what the child needs based on who they are, but who they are at that time. Because we're always changing, and especially children, they change so much. Someone said to me, they're like, one of the crazy things about kids is once you think you've got your child figured out, they change. Right? Like as soon as you think, okay, I've got you figured out, no, then they change, then they get older, then something happens and it changes your approach. So I don't know how I'll address it just from a blanket statement. I think that what'll have to happen is I'll see what she's doing and how she's growing and how she's responding. What I will say is I plan to play offense, not defense. And what I mean by that is I'm going to go over the top as the best as I possibly can to reinforce amazing, amazing habits and thought processes within my daughter and God willing, all my future children. So for example, I am going to go over the top when my daughter does something that has nothing related to body image. Like when she, gets a chin up, or if I'm working out and she just starts doing push-ups with me, I'm gonna throw a party. I'm gonna be like, you're so strong. This is amazing. Look at you go. Like I'm going to go over the top to instill within my daughter how incredible she is and how she can do whatever she wants to do. And I am not going to tie any worth, to the best of my ability, to what she looks like, to her weight, or to any of that. If she chooses to get some protein, maybe, hey, like maybe Abba, because she's gonna call me Abba and my wife Ima, it's like father and mother in Hebrew. Hey Abba, like I wanna have more protein for my muscles. I'm gonna be like, yes, want more protein. Protein's gonna fuel you so you can get bigger muscles and get stronger. It's gonna be better if she's like, hey Abba, I wanna have some vegetables because I know it's gonna give me good energy. Yes, of course, vegetables, it's so good for you, it's good for your brains, whatever. I'm gonna go over the top about everything that she does in a way that's good for her physically, mentally, emotionally, and have as little possible tie to self-worth via body image. Mitch and I were just talking about this today in the car after jiu-jitsu, about how it's so dangerous to tie your self-worth to how you look for so many obvious reasons. And I think that one of the best ways to get people to do what they should be doing and what you want them to do in a healthy way is to go over the top positive reinforcement. Whereas I think what most people do almost subconsciously is negative reinforcement. And I see this with spouses all the time. Spouses all the time, they'll get mad at each other. How do I get my spouse to prioritize their health and fitness? And I'll be like, you have to go over the top positive, because what I see a lot of spouses do is, let's say your husband isn't prioritizing his health and fitness and you really want him to. And every day you're like, oh, you're not another day not going to the gym, and then you see him having like a donut. Oh, guess you're having a donut. Like it's just all this negative. But what if you see him drink a glass of water? Are you just going to ignore that because in your mind you think, well, that's what he's supposed to be doing, like I'm not going to say anything? Or do you say, hey, I love that you're having the water instead of all the soda that's in the fridge. Like I love that you're making that choice. Or if he gets up early and goes on a walk, are you not gonna say anything because that's what he should be doing? You're gonna be like, I'm so proud of you. You got up, you went on a walk, like that's amazing. So many people, especially with those closest to us, only focus on what people aren't doing and completely neglect what they are doing well. And if you want to encourage and inspire change within someone or to get them to focus on good and better things, then you better go over the fucking top on the things you want them to focus on. So that's my plan with my daughter and, God willing, future children, is like go over the top on the things that I think really matter. Like I will not be saying things, I will not be doing a negative reinforcement parenting style. I think it's a really, really bad idea, just based on my personality and what I've seen of the research and how people respond to different types of enforcement styles. So everything I do is gonna go over the top, positive, get stronger, be happier, and everything I possibly can to make sure that she knows she's absolutely fucking incredible. Now, next, sort of, this is a separate topic entirely, but how do you get her to know that she's not better than other people, right? If you're saying like, hey, you're amazing, you're the best, da da da, that does not mean that put her on a pedestal to a point where she can look down on other people, because that, no, you're gonna get knocked off that pedestal real fucking fast. And I know this is separate from the question, but I think doing your best to build up the child to know that they are amazing and they have so many incredible qualities about them outside of simply how they look, and really focus on that as opposed to focusing on simply just like, I don't know, all the negative shit that is so easy to focus on. So that's my answer to that one. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed the video as a whole. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and if you want to be entered to win a free month in your circle, leave a comment as well. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna hang out with my wife and daughter. Eventually I'm gonna get a workout in. I don't think that's gonna be in this video, but I appreciate you. I appreciate Mitch behind the camera, just absolutely crushing all these videos. Give Mitch a follow. We're gonna put Mitch's Instagram right here. And that's it. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.